So where are you from?
I'm from Lansing, Michigan.
Okay.
South side. I can, grew up there from birth until about 4 or 5 years ago. Finally was able to get out of my hometown, and here I'm in Atlanta. Yeah.
And what was your experience like growing up in Michigan?
So growing up in Michigan is slow. It's the Midwest, so it's a lot of flatlands. You can see pretty far. There's no real, heights in a sense. So in that type of aspect, it plateaus quickly, and I have been, it's pretty stagnant. I'll probably say. I've been there since I was a kid, so you just see the same thing over and over again. I'm from Lansing too, so there's not a lot of growth in that city. There's same corner stores have been in the same corner forever.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Were you into fashion as a child when you were growing up in Michigan?
No, I actually was into music.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was funny. I originally came out to Atlanta for music. It's kind of my dream to be in the producing and to be maybe behind scenes or maybe on the stage. But I recently I was kind of like able to change my medium. I'm an artist by an artist by nature. But I was just able to change my medium from music to art to fashion, and I think the same message. I say the same message in every one of my mediums, kind of thing. So yeah, music was my passion. I used to produce. I came up with the coldest beats, new sounds. You know Griselda? I was Griselda before Griselda. Flexing.
No, I feel you. And so, I don't know. I think you know how you see people who were past like musicians, they usually transition into fashion.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think that is?
I think it's all expression. Like legitimately, I think it's you're freestyling in music. I mean, you can freestyle in music. You can freestyle in art. You can freestyle in fashion. It's just the expression of itself, and you can be able to, come up with that sound that you had. That you hear that sound, you can make that in a garment. I think it's hard. It's not hard to visualize, sound when you're in music, but you could do the same thing with garments too, and I think it really comes down to your philosophy of what art actually is. It's like you got a philosophy of, let's say, like you think that music, when you're in music, you have a rhythm that you freestyle over and over and over go in your head, and you can recreate a garment the same way. You can, sonically make that same thing over and over too. And yeah, I feel like I think it's pretty transferable in some type of shape or form.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you say that your new brand that you're introducing now, would you say that that's your entrance into fashion, or did you have another entryway prior to now?
I think this is my entrance, grand opening, and putting my flag down.
Okay.
Yeah, I really think that this is going to be I'm not trying to be cocky, but I think this is going to be the next thing. It's one of those, my line Detrois is a new modern way of going about fashion, clothes, marketing, aesthetic. It's one of those things where, once I make where I want to be, kids 10, 15 years from now will be like, okay, that's where that came from. And I really want that. I want to put that stamp down. I think that, I think it's necessary, especially as, a person coming from Lansing. I think it kind of says something that you can go out and build progress from an area of no progress. And I want to be progressive in the music. I want to be progressive in life. I want to be progressive in thinking, and also progressive in fashion in any type of way like that.
In terms of like your brand positioning, is it luxury? Is it luxury streetwear? What would you say it is?
I think it's luxury. I think streetwear kind of puts it in the box. I think streetwear, as Virgil said, streetwear is dead in a sense. I think to come up with new ideas is where Detrois exists. We're coming up with new shapes, new collars, new construction, new shoulders. That's where the luxury comes from. It also comes from just a new idea, and I think that new ideas are a luxury itself. So I would probably put myself in the luxury realm. I don't want my price point to be too high. I don't want it to be too unattainable. I'm not trying to be Balenciaga or Prada or anything like that. I think these brands are great for what they are, but their heritage. Detrois is one of these things where it's always going to be consistently evolving and changing and growing, which is what I feel like we as people should be having and should be doing at all points. So I want my brand to be reflective of that too. That's about right, yeah.
So when we were talking off camera, you mentioned like sustainable fashion.
Yeah.
How do you feel about fast fashion brands and their impact on their?
I think they serve a purpose. Legitimately, I never want to bash anything that in life, but I do think that everything serves a purpose. But things can be better. Things can be 100% better. I think fast fashion is lazy, in my opinion. It's lazy. You go to Urban Outfitters, you see the same aesthetic that was out when you were a kid. It's not new. There's nothing new about it. It's just the recycled idea of, thrifting was cool back. I mean, thrifting's cool now. Bring back idea that was, already done. It's lazy, in my opinion. But I think that it does serve its purpose because nostalgia is something that, makes us feel good. And I think fast fashion is one of those things where you can get instant gratification. You can also have a, more of a nostalgic feel to what you're wearing. And the idea is like, wow, my dad used to wear that, my mom used to wear that. It was cool. It's cool. And I think that it serves, again, like I was saying, I think it serves a purpose. I don't think that it's sustainable, as in something like a new idea, which is, I would probably say, I feel like a new idea is more sustainable and it can grow. And fast fashion is one of those things where it's good for the time being at this point right now, and it'll be good in the next 20 years, but 10 years, 5 years, it's gonna be gone. Everybody's a trend. Karl Lagerfeld said the closest thing, the closest thing to trendy is tacky. And that's what my opinion of what fast fashion is right now. I think it's good, but I think there's better. I think there's more. And I don't think that a lot of people have put into that sector of that in between of not fast fashion or luxury, high-end luxury Balenciaga. You can be in between. It just has to be cool. And I think that Detrois fits in right in between there because it's sustainable, it's cool, it's something that you could wear in the next 10 years, it's a piece that you could fit. I mean, it's fitted for everybody. It's all inclusive. It's like, it's for everybody. And I think that it's like Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang's for the kids. Detrois for the kids.
All right. Are you an independent designer, or did you receive institutional investment for your project?
This has been something I've self-taught. Surprisingly. So actually it was the same thing with music too. When I started music, I was actually producing in my basement, and that was self-taught, learned keys, learned progression and stuff like that. It was kind of the same thing with fashion. I actually came to Atlanta. Another reason why I came to Atlanta is because I had a scholarship to SCAD. It was great. I went to all the orientations, I had a scholarship and everything, but it cost a lot. So gatekeepers, again, one of those things where, you know, things just didn't happen the way it needed to be. But, you know, I kind of realized later on too, everything is for you, not against you. So being that I had not been able to go and get a formal education on it, I'm like, skip it, you know? You can do your own thing. You don't have to be subjected to the situation that you're in. You can create your own path. So I found, I started working at a place that allowed me to make custom suits. And then I started to, you know, research and learn garments, crafting, sourcing, and one-man show, one-man army. And I think it's paying off. I think it's going to pay off. And I think it's something that I have been wanting to do my entire life. I mean, ever since being in music too, I have been having like a lot of my fans asking me, yo, your fashion, like you're dope. Like when you come out with a line, I think this is kind of like the perfect timing. I think everything is, you know, it's working. Things working exactly how it's supposed to be. And yeah.
Would you one day consider like selling your brand, or are you someone who like wants to retain like 100% ownership of your company? Because you know the brands that are starting to pop now, like they're getting bought pretty quickly.
Oh, 100%. I think that businesses are meant, if you build a business properly, you're building it to sell it. Like Off-White was sold to Farfetch, and he sold that for a crazy amount of money. But at the same time, Virgil was able to retain his copyright, which is Off-White, the copyright. Right. So he was still able to make, you know, keep that up for himself. And I'm kind of doing the same thing with Detrois. And you know, that's my biggest inspiration. Virgil, that's the GOAT. So anything that he does, I'm gonna do it too.
Do you have any like upcoming shows for the brand?
Nothing yet. No. So right now I'm in the stage where I want to be able to get my name out there, get Detrois to be something that people are not afraid of, a brand that people are looking forward to, a brand that people are, you know, inspired by, attracted to, and just out there. I think that we exist right now in a meta type of way, which I would probably say, like, I guess in metaverse in the sense, but at the same time in the physical, because you can exist in the meta and in the physical. So we're kind of existing right in between of there. And which is
so weird.
Yeah, right, isn't it? Yeah. So I kind of want to stay there for now. The plans, I do have plans for us in the next three years. I want to come back to Detroit for one. It's my heart. I love that city. So I want to come back there and be able to do some dope stuff there. But for now, I think existing in the meta world makes sense for us now, and I think physical will come. It will come. I mean, we're physical garments right now, but we can still exist there too. So, yeah.
What's been the most memorable moment of your fashion designing career so far?
Man, I think most memorable would have to be shooting my first shoot. I'm not a person that celebrates often. I don't know how to celebrate. You can ask my wife. I don't know how to celebrate. Birthdays, I don't know how to celebrate. But there was something about my, once I was able to do my first shoot, I took one of the models and I took my wife and we went to Little Trouble on the west side, West Midtown, right around there. And I felt a sense of accomplishment just doing that and seeing that and being there. And I was like, wow, okay, I shot my first part one. Okay, what's next? But I was able to sit there and for a second and just have a memorable moment of, okay, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
See it in action too. See it, people in it. See it blossoming, I guess.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Yeah.
Did you face any like challenges when trying to start the brand?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. If anyone ever tells you starting a brand, starting any type of brand is easy, especially as an artist, it's not. As an artist, I'm scatterbrained. Like you could come up, you could look at my my book of drawings, sketches, designs. It's all over the place. Just being able to align that to reality, bring it to reality, align it to a consistent goal. It's legit my toughest battle. It's not even about making the garments. I can call some people up. I'm like, hey, I need this to get made. I need this to do this, X, Y, Z. But for me, I would probably say biggest struggle of mine is staying focused. And that is because I'm scatterbrained. I love coming up with a jacket. Oh, I got a jacket for next year. I made another jacket for next year. But Raf, hold up, you're still in this year. you still gotta finish this one design. But in my mind it's like I have another idea, I gotta put that out. I got a sound I have in my ear, I gotta play it, I gotta put it down. But it's but I think that's more of a personal thing as an artist, and being an artist creator and turning on that business side of it, I guess really is like that. It's being like, okay, I gotta be able to monetize this, because a lot of artists don't know how to monetize, and we often have to come in with another partner to monetize it. Like you got Steve Jobs and what's his name? Wozniak. Yeah. Steve Jobs is the idea. Wozniak is the business. You gotta have, a lot of times it's that both. So for me, coming into this, I don't have that woes. I'm woes and Steve at the same time. So being in that part, being in that void is it's a little difficult. I think just being able to turn on, put on different hats, it's a little difficult. That'd be my thing.
Where do you find your inspiration?
Virgil Abloh.
Oh, really?
Virgil Abloh.
Why?
I mean, he broke a lot of barriers. He was just a visionary. He was a person that was a disruptor. He believed in institutions, but he was never institutionalized. I.e., he joined Louis Vuitton, which is an institution, but he was never institutionalized by that institution. And he was able to crack that code that a lot of people have not been able to do. Joining a big house like Louis Vuitton with an idea of streetwear like Off-White is, or all of his idea of Pyrex. You come over to Pyrex, like the idea of Pyrex being a large brand and name, and everybody knows what that is. I mean, coming from where I'm coming from, Pyrex means something completely different than, a brand named Pyrex. So, just him turning that into where he was, R.I.P., where he was and still is, like, that is my biggest inspiration. I want to be able to influence the world the way that Virgil Abloh did, with the heart and the kind of, vision that he was able to clearly give to the world. And it started with the marketing. It started with a whole world. He created a world. He created a universe.
For someone watching this who aspires to do what you do, what advice would you give them?
Follow your heart. Believe, like, legitimately. You will get fired from institutions. You will lose business partners. Don't stop. People will tell you no every single time. People will think you're crazy. They're like, no, it's never gonna work. It's only gonna happen if you're consistent. I think that once I learned that being consistent, consistency is what brings success. I want to keep that going. And to my black friends, my black artists, get the business first. Do the business stuff. That matters. That absolutely matters. Get the LLC. Get the EIN. Get all your stuff going. Get that together first. Once you're able to do that, there's so many doors that you can unlock just by having the business structure set up properly. Like I run my initial company is called Lordex, where we are also, the plan is to open up a bunch of locations of manufacturing, sustainable manufacturing, 3D printing, housing, these type of ideas. That's all down the line, what I want to do. That we have so many ideas and so many things that we can make happen. We just need to have that base foundation first. Make that foundation. Once you have that platform, that foundation, sky's the limit. I really think that's important.